Hello class, this is AutoCAD flat parts number 1, and we're going to be drawing these 4 shapes, these 4 parts, and we're just going to kind of pretend that these are parts that are going to be cut out on like a laser engraver, plasma, or hydro cutting technology of some kind. So like that's a pretty common thing to do in engineering, and get these parts that are made of flat materials. So first thing you want to do is download the drawing. I've already got it down here on my AutoCAD. We're going to draw in here. Make sure you've got your object lines selected. It's also going to be helpful if you have your OSNAP and Angular and all that kind of good stuff taken care of here. So I've got the finished one right here already. So we're just going to recreate this. We're not going to worry about the dimensions today. It's just making the parts themselves. So let's go to flat parts right here. And I'm going to draw the overall size of this shape that's found here, and I'm going to start cutting away and put the hole, the fillet, chamfer, and then this round. So I'm going to go to model, and I want rectangle tool, and this is going to be 3 tab 2.5, I believe. Actually, I think that's wrong. 3.5 by 2. I got that backwards, or I messed that one up. So if I ever wanted to change this, I can go to parametric and go to linear. I can say from here to here, it's supposed to be 3.5. Notice that I clicked on the midpoint, not the endpoints. That's also important. Here to here, I think this is already at 2. No, 2. Enter. Dang, I messed that up. So now I'm going to go vertical and vertical. And now we're almost in good shape. Horizontal. So, okay. Anyway, so that should stay like that now. Okay, and I'm going to hide those. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to use the fillet tool, which is found right here, right there. And it's going to say select first object or down drop. I want to click the radius, make sure that's at 1 inch, hit enter. And then it says select first object or line, and I'm going to click here, and it will automatically round that for me, which is really nice. Okay, the next one is chamfer. So I'm going to click chamfer, hit the down drop, and it says distance. I'm going to say 1 inch, enter. I'm going to click here. Oh, I didn't know it. Chamfer. Boom. I think it's remembering the last input I did. So chamfer, down, distance, enter. That's not working. That was a lot more tricky than it needed to be. So I've drawn that one. And then the next is this circle. Put a circle in right here. And actually, I got to check what it says. So it's got a radius of 0.5. So be careful with your radius in here. I can use my radius for a circle. Usually we'd use the diameter, but in this case, it's going to be easier to just go 0.5. So got that there. And then I'm going to use my diameter circle to draw this one, which is a diameter of 1 inch. And it shares the same point as this arc here. So it's 1 inch in, and it doesn't say, but it's 1 inch over as well, but it's right on that. So I'm going to go here. If I hover over this, it's going to show me this point. Click on it, type in 1, enter. There we go. Then I can use my trim tool, which is TR, enter. And I can trim this and that will leave me with this part, which looks great. Okay, there it is. So the next one is going to be this pattern right here. And this one is interesting. You could do this a variety of ways. This one is symmetric about like hot dog and hamburger style here. So where it's down the height and the width are both symmetric. So I'm going to draw a rectangle again, and let's see here, rectangle, and the rectangle is, it only tells me half the distance here, 2.5, so it's going to be 5 in total, and 1, so it's 5 by 2. So I keep doing that, 5 by 2. Nice. And then I'm going to go ahead and fillet the corner. And I'm going to hit the down drop first and make sure I've got the right setting. I believe it's 0.375. Yeah, 0.375. Okay, I'm going to go here. Nice. And then if I press space bar, we'll remember the last one we used. Just there. Space bar. There. Space bar here. We got it. Nice. Okay. Now there's a few ways we could do the little circles or the holes that go in the corners. So those are 0.375 from each side there. So I can draw a circle, and just, it will line up with this right here. I can just draw that 0.375 and hit enter. I can also do an array, which is going to be nice. If I click down, drop, and do a rectangular array, click right here, and then right click and tell it to go here. We can specify this distance up here. So we want the number of columns. I want 2. Number of rows. I also want 2. And then I can tell them to have a certain space between them. So right now, I don't want that many. So space between them, I can start typing in this. So this, let's say it's 2.25. I'm actually not sure. We're going to find out. 4.25? Yep, okay, 4.25 looks right. This one's still not quite the right size, so we're going to change this one to, let's try negative 2.2. And negative because it's going in the down direction. Oh, too far. Should be like 1.25. Yeah, okay, I think that's it. And then close array. So I've got those ones. And I could also, just as a hot tip, I can also use the mirror tool. So if I draw a line from here to here, and then another line using the midpoints from here to here, enter, I can go mirror, I can say this one, and then specify mirror line right here and right there. And then I can do the same thing going horizontally, here and here, right click, and I can tell it to use this line, and that would do it as well. And then I can just trim out these 2 lines that I created here. So that is another option that works just fine. Okay, and I guess I should have kept this middle line, but we're going to draw a line that goes straight across the middle here. And I need to put a circle. It's going to be a hole eventually right here, at 1 inch, right in the very middle. So go circle, and the very middle is found right here. And make sure you have this highlighted, your geometric center. That will make this much easier to find. So I've got that right here. It's 1 inch. Perfect. Now I got to figure out how far over to go. I believe it's 1.25. Yeah, it's 1.25 inches from center to center. So I'll go back here. Oops, AutoCAD. And I'm going to draw a line from the center that goes over 1.25 and enter. And then draw a circle. Make it 1 inch. I'll do the same thing going the opposite direction. 2.5. Tab, make sure it's 180 so it's flat. And then circle, inch. And then I can trim away all these extra lines that we don't need. Cool. There's the part. But I guess while I'm looking at these two, I can get these shaded if I click the shade tool, or hatch tool, and click on the inside of these spots there, hit enter, and that will produce those parts. They look pretty good. Cool. Alright, so down here, I'm going to go to model again. I want to draw this circle thing, whatever. So it's kind of like a wheel, kind of like a bobbin almost. And this one's a little hard to interpret just by the way it looks here. We're going to draw first this overall circle that's 3 inches. So we're going to do that one first. So I'm going to go circle, drop that in, 3 inches, enter. And then I'm going to do the inner circle, which is right here. And notice that this has a radius of 0.5. So the reason that's a radius is because it's not a complete circle. There's a little chunk taken out right there. So whenever that happens, it's dimensioned by radius, not by the diameter, because it's technically an arc. So I'm going to use center radius and type in 0.5, enter. Looks good. And then I've got these little circles that go around in a circular pattern. So notice right here it says 6 times 0.5 equally spaced on a 2-inch diameter. So what that says is that all 6 of these are the same, and they're equally spaced, so the angle is the same between these. I think it's 60 degrees between each of them. And they're all 0.5 in diameter, and this pattern goes out 2 inches. So I'm going to go back to model. Oh, sorry. On this one. And I'm going to draw a circle that is 0.5 in diameter. Actually, first I'm going to draw a line. Draw a line that goes straight over here. And it's going to be 1 inch, because the diameter from side to side here would be 2 inches. So it's just the radius, which is 1. Draw a circle and use the diameter for the circle. And it should be 0.5, enter. And then I'm going to use my polar array tool. So that's right here on the down drop, polar array. Click on this, oh, sorry, wrong thing. You click the center point first. Or no, that was right. Select the object, and then right click or hit enter, and then click the center point, which is going to be right here. And what's nice is it's defaulted. It already knows to go to 6 and 60, so we actually don't have to change anything. It's all ready to go. Click close array, and then we can just trim to get rid of the extra stuff. So see you later lines. And then our last little item of business is the little notch that's been taken out right here. So this one's a little hard to draw. What I'm going to do is draw like a little rectangle that goes up, just a really thin one using the corner here, and then a line that goes over and chops it up. So it's 1/8 of an inch, so we're working with really small numbers here. So go back to that. I'm going to do a rectangle tool. I'll click on my corner here, and I'm going to draw half of this. Is kind of what's happening here. So half of 0.125 is 0.0625. So that's the width there. And then tab, this is supposed to go right here, is 1/2 inch. Needs to go up. So actually, I'm not sure if this works. Let's try this. 0.5 plus 0.125. Nah, doesn't work. So in some programs, it will actually do the math for you, which is nice. This should be pretty easy, just 0.625. Hit enter. And then I'm going to do another rectangle from here to here, I guess, like, yeah, as long as it's the width is right is all we really care about. So 0.062 or point, yeah, 0.0625 tab, and then this could be like half an inch or a quarter of an inch or whatever. We're just going to trim away what's left over. So trim like that, beautiful, and we've got our shape there. So we'll use the hatch tool to fill it in, hit enter, and it's done. So that is our little bobbin wheel thing, flywheel. Okay, and then the last one is kind of fun. It's weird shaped, but it's fun. We're going to learn a couple of tools that I really like on this one. So flat parts, I'm going to do this one, and what I'm going to do is actually just draw this as if it were a rectangle. Well, let's do this main circle first, and then kind of a rectangle here, and we'll add all these extra arcs last. So this first circle says it has a radius, because, well, I guess it's an arc, so it's an arc with a radius of 1. So I'm going to type in right here, I'm going to use radius, and 1, enter. And then the handle goes back 4.5, and it goes down, and this is a radius right here of 0.5, which means that this full distance is 1 inch. So it's 4.5 by 1. So I'll go rectangle. The top, well, actually, I think it uses the center point. I believe that's true. Okay, so 4.5 tab 1, enter. Yep, that looks good. And then I'm going to use my hexagon tool. And this one has, it looks like it's when it uses the flat sides, this is a hard one to remember, but it means that it is circumscribed. So it's 1 inch right there. So I'm going to go polygon, 6, enter. Here's the center point, and then it's once circumscribed, and it's going to have a radius 0.5, and that should do it. Good. Okay, and then let's do we could do an arc tool right here, but because I know it's going to be tangent, I can actually just use a circle and just tell it to be right there, and trim away what's left over. So that's nice. I can just look at that and just kind of know what it's going to be. And then this, there's going to be an arc that goes like that's perpendicular. It goes in right here inside this notch. So I'm going to use a circle. Actually, I don't know what the size is. It's a radius of 0.35, which means it'll have a diameter of 0.7, which is kind of a weird number, but we're going to go with it. So actually, we could use radius. So it goes here. And radius has got to be 0.35, enter. And then I want to make sure that this is tangent to this line. So I'm going to go parametric, tangent. In fact, actually, before I do that, I might lock this one because yeah, I was worried I did that. Let's see if we go the other way around. So if I go tangent and I click this one first, that works. Okay, so whatever you click first will stay in place. So we want the big circle to stay. Okay. And then this little corner in here is the one that gets students the most. So this little spot right here, because it isn't tangent. It's kind of, well, it's tangent, sorry, but it isn't perpendicular like this line is right here. So what we've got to do is we're going to draw a circle, a little circle in here that's tangent to both of these, to the circle here and to this edge here. So we're going to use a new tool called tangent, tangent, and then it says diameter or radius. I can't remember which, but we'll go home, draw a circle, yeah, tangent, tangent, radius. So I'm going to say I want it to be tangent to this, and then the radius needs to be 0.25 and hit enter. And it will automatically create a circle that's tangent here, here, and has a radius of 0.25. So now all we got to do is erase stuff. So we're going to go, or trim. So we're going to go trim, enter. I'm going to get rid of this. I'll get rid of this one, this, this. Oops. This one, that one, and then in here, right there. And that is the shape. So as a final thing, if I wanted to make sure this all stays together, I can use join. So type in join, hit enter, and then just highlight everything, and then enter again. And now each of this will all add this line will act like it's all a single thing. Of course, you don't want it to do what I'm doing right now, but that's just shows that they work together. And I can move this line and all that stuff. I wanted to make it a group. I could do that so that it includes this. If I type in group, like you would in Illustrator, I can highlight all of this and then enter. And now if I click one, this whole thing is now its own unit. So it kind of acts like its own object, which is nice. Okay. And then if I want to add hatch, I can right here. And I've got it. So that would be it for the assignment. So once you've got your flat parts all drawn, and it looks like this, just add in your name and all that good stuff right here, and you will be good to go. So you just go to Output, Export, PDF, save it somewhere nice where you can find it again, and then submit it to Canvas, and you're done.